I think you would have to start with a presumption of 50-50,
Yes.
equal shared parenting, unless somebody met the appropriate burden of proof. I don't either preponderance of evidence or clear and convincing evidence in civil cases is a little bit higher. Still
I
not
think
quite as high
everything
as
should go
beyond a
to
reasonable doubt, but
everything should be beyond a reasonable doubt, in my opinion.
sure. So we could put that at beyond a reasonable doubt. I'd be fine with that. But I think you would have to start with 50-50, because otherwise,
Hmm.
like in Georgia right now, again, the way that the judges rule and the way the law is written, the way that the judicial, even the Superior Court judge rule book, what do they call it, rule book or guidebook or whatever it is,
The
the way
canons,
that all the yeah, essentially Georgia has a different, I think it's like rules for Superior Court judges or something like that.
all
But
of them follow the federal rule of judicial canons. So,
yeah, so but in there, so in Georgia's specifically, like they actually have, it's like rule 24, 24.10, I think. They have a sample parenting plan, and
we
that
talked about
sample
that before.
parenting plan, yeah, I had a video about this recently where basically, like, you check the box: is primary custody going to mom or dad? And then most of the time that usually goes to whoever did not work during the marriage, right? So all that to say, whoever was the stay-at-home dad or stay-at-home mom or whatever. So all
Mhm.
that to say, like, this process, like having the year of try to sort it out, and if not, then we'll go to trial. I think that you have to go into trial with the child, with everything that we know about what actually is best for the children, like with that being the standard. Because otherwise, if I'm the stay-at-home mom, and I know that it's probably going to go in my favor anyways when I get to trial, then sure, right? Like, I'll just write it out. Like, let's go to court. Like, we'll have a full jury trial, because I already know at the end of the day, like, I'm already the winner, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
In this case. So
Yeah.
so I think, so all that to say, I think we have to start with the shared custody, the 50-50 presumption. And then I think the other thing I would add to your flow, to your model, is like, so I've been thinking a lot about this recently. I actually talked to a couple lawyers in Georgia about this. If we had the time and the resources to do something like this, I think it would be really helpful to have like an initial, even before that first, like, pre-trial, that even before that initial hearing, like, if there could be some sort of mental health evaluation, or like I don't know, like a specifically trained social worker, or something, not necessarily to make a decision, but basically just to, like, put the family in sort of a big category, right? Like this, like she can probably sit down 10 minutes with mom, 10 minutes with dad, talk to the kid for 5 minutes. Maybe you can do the whole thing start to finish in an hour. But that social worker could probably come away, if they're well trained, if they're familiar, they could probably come away from this saying, like, yeah, that, both parents seem fine. Obviously there's some mistrust, they're getting divorced because of finances or in-laws or whatever, but there's really no reason for them to be high conflict, so let's put them
Mhm.
in this bucket. They sort of get this path this little bit
Streamline it.
quicker,
Yeah.
streamline it a little bit. And then, if that social worker goes into the meeting and mom just starts screaming about, like, there's been abuse, and he hit me, and I think he's a danger to the child. And then you go into the meeting with dad, and dad is like, well, she's been cheating on me for 6 years with 5 different guys. And it's like, okay, let's put them in a different category, right?
Yeah.
Like, we'll put them in this
We got
bucket over here,
problems.
and then they can go, this one probably is going to require maybe the jury trial or a much longer process or whatever. But again, like, as it is, everybody right now in the court system just kind of goes through that same process,
The ringer.
which really, yeah, exactly. And there's no reason for that at all, especially when we're considering what's actually best for kids.